Hey, what's going on, everybody? Silver Meteor, thanks so much for the 41-month resub. Hey, how you on, Baub? If that's how I say your name. Welcome to the stream. Meteor, thanks so much for the 41-month resub. Myself. There we go. Did the servers go live early or something? It's not even 7 o'clock yet. Or did they already go live, like an hour ago? Good luck getting Scaredy Cat. I probably won't get her because I'm not spending any money. I can't. Literally have no money in the bank. But if we get her, we get her with free Stellar Jades. If not, then oh well. Oh yeah. Basically only like 1.5 multis. Yeah, ain't no way. Might as well not even waste my what is it? Stellar Jades and whatnot. Bets? No point. Trust your luck. My luck is not good. I don't know if you've seen my streams lately, or my Gacha streams lately, but my luck is pretty shit compared to everybody else's. People say they don't have very good luck, but I kind of just raise my eyebrow. It's the exact same way. I feel the exact same way about that as I do whenever I hear the Trash Taste boys talk about how they've gone, quote unquote, gone broke for gachas. Like, oh, have you really? You say this, but last patch went by pretty quick. Yeah, it was intentionally shorter than usual, I think. Actually, how many? I actually wonder how much of the Oneric shards I have left. Probably should have taken a peek. I assume not a lot. Yep, that was my last multi. Okay, I could spare exactly 2 multis on that. Good to know. And I can't even afford enough for a full multi. So yeah, that'll be the end of my rolls there. If we have our major event online now, then I'll farm all the Stellar Jades that I can get from the event, and I'll try again. But yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. We pulling for E0? Not even, bro. I'm not spending any money. Topaz is the last character I will realistically pull. Everybody else's, if I get them, cool. If not, then, well, not much I can do. Okay, so we gotta do MLC, SU8. And we have our... Okay, we should have our new event active now. We'll see how time-gated it is. We'll try to go as deep into it as we can. I assume this quest is to unlock the event, the rest of the event. Oh, good. We also have, this shit. Normally I would buy the battle pass, but even buying the battle pass is kind of like a, it's kind of up in the air for me at the moment. Valor, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for the 43 months at tier 2. Greatly appreciated. Lots of new, lots of free jades. Yeah, I'm hoping that all the free jades I can get from all the content for this patch will at least take me to my first off pity, because what are the chances of me actually getting an early 5-star? My name isn't Tectone or MTash, so that's not gonna happen. What is this? So yeah, no gacha for me anyway. What is this? Trailblaze Continuance. Oh, this is the mission that unlocks the event? What is this then? The fuck is this? Hey Zeddy, welcome back. When do I start on Amazon? This Friday. I spent earlier, I hung out with some of my IRL friends earlier, and they're fixing up one of their bikes for me, so that I can take to, commute, because it's not too far away, within biking distance. I have to come back tomorrow because they found out they needed something to help further fix the bike. So I gotta come back to them tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the whole, like, have somebody show up in your Astral Express thing. What does it say that that they've already showed up at your where does it say that they've already showed up at your Astral Express? Like, shouldn't there be a, didn't they say there should be a way for you to tell who you've already talked to? Or does the game not even tell you that? Like, what the fuck is the point of this if the game doesn't even tell you, like, oh, like, here's who you haven't talked to yet? I mean, I shouldn't say there's no point, because at least with this, you can actually directly call people instead of, you know, relying on fucking RNG. Like, what is this, Genshin Daily Regional Quests or some shit? But, like, it would also be kind of nice if we already knew who we talked to and already gathered jades from, or got jades from. Like, I ain't gonna fucking sit here going through every single one of them individually. Have I talked to Selly, actually? No, apparently I haven't. All this time I still hadn't talked to Selly. Jesus. Anyways. Okay, so that was Pom Pom's thing. We will start on the event stuff after I'm done with the other shit, SUA and MOC. Let's go do MOC first. Might as well since we're already here. Does FGO have a PC client? No, it does not. Unless you count emulator, but I'm pretty sure you're not talking about that. So yes, if you want to play FGO on PC, you can, but only through emulator. I'm not sure, so I've been told that Google is launching its own, like, emulator-ish program, called Google Beta, or whatever the fuck. If FGO is available through that, because not all mobile games are available on Google Beta, or whatever the official name is for that thing. But if it is, then you could try it through Google Beta, or whatever it's called. But other than that, just pick your favorite emulator and go. Is pretty much what that is.
お客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ。よいしょ。落ち着いて。人体は皆脆いがゆえに。
Guess I missed the summons. I literally only threw 2 multis and I didn't get her, and I'm not paying anything to I'm not buying more packs. I will tell you how much money I have in my bank account. It's less than $300. So I am not spending any more money on Gacha. Oh yeah, this entire team has this team has what is it? No offensive techniques. So no, if I roll for, I'll try to gather all the Stellar Jades that I can get for free from 1.5. I'll try to get Huofo before her banner expires. If she shows up, then cool. If not, then oh well. I guess I'll wait until she comes back again in the future, and hopefully by that time I'll have more money. Money that I can afford wasting on stupid fucking gacha games. I know I'm gonna be repeating that for that a dozen times today. Holy shit. God, streaming is so fun. Fucking Jesus, dude. What do we got here? Thing you hate about Google is that it probably won't allow you to install your own APK. I mean, somebody else earlier in chat was like, whenever they had that Google beta program open, it wouldn't even let them open any other emulators. So that's already a big red flag right there, in my opinion. Board player, thanks so much for the 4-month resub. Welcome back. How are the rolls? Shitty. I only did two multi rolls, and I can't afford to do any more. And of course I didn't get Wolfo, because why would that happen? I'm not a free-to-play player, so luck doesn't exist, because my money is supposed to be my luck, but guess what? I don't have any money. So we'll see if me slogging through the rest of 1.5's content for free Stellar Jades will get me Wolfo later, but I think I know the answer to that question already. This is the Forgotten Hall. MOC, yes, because MOC reset yesterday. This is only MOC too. I just got started, so doesn't really mean much. the kernel level Google Play emulator. I don't know if that's what it's called, but whatever it's called, you know. First banner is Argenti, right? No, it's Huohuo. And keep in mind, who is it? Hanya is not part of this banner. The new 4-star, she's part of Argenti's banner, which is probably why you're asking. But no, Argenti is not here yet. Also, why is my chat box not showing up? Oh, because I don't even have it enabled. Blade and Kafka are getting reruns in 1.6. It's good to see that characters are consistently getting reruns. I'm a little bit worried that they've completely skipped over Luocha and Jingyuan. Jingyuan I understand, unfortunately. But Luocha's pretty good. I think a lot of people would appreciate being able to roll for Luocha the next time around, or when it gets another banner. Surprised they didn't rerun Luocha first. Who do you believe is worth summoning based on kit? Who are you talking about? What's your pool of characters here? Are you talking about everyone in Star Rail, or just the 1.5 characters, or what? Who are we talking about here? What's your range? We could actually go Mono Quantum on this team, funnily enough. Have Crazy Fox, Mr. 2. Thank you. Appreciate it. You need Luocha? Yeah, exactly. It's like... When did they plan on dropping Luocha? Also, hey Hannah, how's it going? Upcoming banner? Upcoming banner? Argenti? Are you just talking about Argenti, or how many upcoming banners are you talking about? What's Huohuo's gimmick? I wouldn't call it a gimmick, but she's an abundance character who gives charge to your entire team. It's not quite as drastic as Tingyun's charge, where Tingyun's ultimate gives 50% charge. I'd say 50, but it's not exactly 50, it's roughly 50. Depends on if she's E6 or not. But Tingyun's whole thing is that her ultimate gives charge to one character. Typically, it'll be your DPS character for obvious reasons. Huohuo is the same, but instead of only one character, she gives 20 charge, 20 energy to the whole team. So that's her thing. She also gives an attack buff based on how much she's healed or something. I know she gives an attack buff of some kind, but I forget how it works. But I know she heals because she's abundance. She's got an attack buff and team-wide attack buff and a team-wide charge on her ult. Those three I know. Like, her character basically condenses down to that. Again, I wouldn't call it a gimmick because it's kind of what makes her as a character, or what sets her apart as a character so far. So be careful when you run around throwing around terms like gimmicks and shit, because I don't think that's a gimmick. Thought Huohuo provides SP. You're thinking of the wrong character. You're confusing her with Hanya. Hanya is the new 4-star character who'll show up with Argentia in the second half of 1.5. So not now, but in 3 weeks. So yeah, you're thinking of the wrong character. Hoyo holding Luocha for break class in case of emergency because they realized how popular he was. He became after his banner, kind of like Kazuo, like people at WTF said. Probably. Wouldn't put it past me, Hoyo. Perhaps so, perhaps so. If we had a fire, a fire healer, a fire abundance character, we could run mono pyro, mono fire. That'd be funny. Could throw in Luocha here, I think. Actually, throwing in Luocha against Kafka would have been better. You know, it'd be really good here. Huohuo. Actually, I don't know how good Huohuo would be here, actually, because I don't know if Huohuo has any debuff resists or debuff clears. Maybe she does. I didn't see. Oh well. Glad you didn't want Selly because you heard she's like hyper invested if you didn't get her at the start. What does that mean? Are you saying that you heard that Selly needs to be hyper invested into in order for her to be good? Because if that's what you're saying, who told you that? Because they're fucking stupid and don't play the game. I have the exact opposite opinion of Selly. I think that Selly is one of the lowest investment characters in the game, or more accurately, she needs some of her level of investment is one of the lowest in the game to be considered good, to be a functional character. So I don't know who told you that, but yeah, they're bad at the game. Either that or they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Probably the latter. Maybe they're not bad. But I do think they don't have any idea what they're talking about. Do we have a character who full cleanses all debuffs, or are you tripping? No. The closest we have to that is, I think, Lynx, because Lynx gets rid of one debuff off of your entire team. But it's only one. Not all of it. Eventually, I do think that we will get an abundance character who will have the ability to just get rid of all of everyone's debuffs, because, you know, miHoYo needs to release stronger and stronger characters over time, so it'll happen eventually. Might take a couple years for us to get to that point, or maybe sooner, who knows, but we'll get there. But so far, not yet. The feature 5 stars 1.5. It's kind of difficult. Huohuo and Hanya are the two you really want, because if you know me, I always recommend the support type characters for obvious reasons. It's a damn shame that Hanya wasn't on Huohuo's banner, because if she were, then that would be a perfect banner to roll on. Because Argentia is what, erudition physical, so it's like if you really want him, then sure, go ahead, but and as much as I hate talking about meta, I dare say if you were to ask Star Rail players, I don't think they would consider Argenti meta unless it turns out that his numbers are so fucking good that you know, that he's just kind of super strong anyway. We'll see how he performs. I don't know if people have... I'm sure Theory Crafters have already punched in the numbers for him. So we probably already have a good idea of how well he performs at this point anyway. Probably tried to sell him? Yeah, probably. Hey, do you want Hanya? Might as well come roll an Argenti band. So. Probably one of the hot take streamers. Why does that not surprise me? Gacha streamers, not even once. Man, this is gonna be kind of a low HP team here. Actually, yeah, I can just do this then. And I can just run Topaz for this team. see what are the two bosses for this. But to just to answer your question, VC videos, and before I forget, I would say try to roll for a copy of Hanya. I do think that Hua Hua will be very good for the people who roll her, because team-wide charges, like, that shit is really strong. I mean, I play FGO. Like, most of us, most of my main viewers here, we play FGO, so we understand how good party charges, party MP charge skills are, right? I don't need to tell you guys that. So, like, Hua Hua having that thing on her, or having that sort of mechanic on her ult, yeah, that's obviously gonna be very strong. Realistically, though, I do think that Hanya is going to be more impactful in the long run, because Hanya actually does something that no other character in the game does, which is recover skill points outside of, like, you know, shit like Simulated Universe or whatever. Like, Hua Hua doesn't really change what you've already been doing, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't need to do anything different with her. But with Hanya's whole thing of recovering skill points faster has the potential of unlocking new shit. Like new strategies, new teams, new stuff that you can do. So if you're looking for a more bang for your buck kind of situation, then I would say risk rolling on Argenti's banner and try to go for a copy of Hanya. Hey everybody over on the YouTube side, hope you guys are chilling. Excuse me. Is this like Abyss and Genshin? Yes, this is the Abyss equivalent. New Star Rail code. Thank you. Isn't there something you can do to make download super fast? Some programs have like built-in caps on your download speed. Like I know, I'm pretty sure both Steam and Battle.net have options where you can control how much bandwidth they take up whenever they're downloading something. So if you feel like Steam or Battle.net is downloading something a little too slow, and you know you can allocate more bandwidth, more of your internet bandwidth to them, you can do that so they can download faster. I don't know if whatever it is that you're talking about right now has that same thing, but that would be like a legal way of doing it. I'm sure there are less than legal ways of getting more download speed, or you know, accelerating your download speed when you know you have more. Then again, it shouldn't even be illegal, because like you're paying for your internet speed already, so like what the fuck is the problem? Like, why would that be a problem, you know? I'm gonna go and put this code in real quick. There we go. Thank you, Hannah. Much appreciated. Where's Blade? There he is. Sure, fuck it. We'll just try Clara. See if Otto can handle that. Oops. I started without the other techniques, but whatever. Have you tried reverse 1999? If I hadn't lost my job earlier this year and I had more money, then yes, I think I would have tried 1999. However, currently on this timeline, no, I can't play it. Maybe I'll pick it up later, but as of right now, no, I'm not playing. Did you get Izumo? I'm not rolling for any FGO character until Coin Sky at Dark. If you watch my FGO Whales log videos, you would know that. So I've already skipped the Summer 6 servants with the one exception of Summer Kama because she's my favorite. And I had 10 USO, so I was like, fuck it, we ball. I skipped the Halloween servants, even though I really wanted to roll for them. I skipped them. And I will now proceed to skip Gouda 6. And that trend will continue until Coin Sky Dark. The skippings will continue until my financial situation improves. And hopefully my morale, too. Had to pause and download multiple times for Genshin pre-downloads. That must mean your internet connection is, like, bad. Because I have never had that problem. Like, I don't know if you're sharing your internet connections with other people in your family or whatever, or just other people in your household. Doesn't have to be your family, obviously. But I've never had my Genshin or Star Rail downloads like pause on their own, and you have to like force restart them, manually restart them or some shit. Either that or your PCs are just trash. And hey, I've been there. What's 1999 new gacha? Yeah, new Chinese gacha. Unique, very unique setting, very unique art style. Personally, I think the most unique thing about it is that the game is natively voiced in English. Because it's supposed to be set in like Victorian era fucking England or whatever. So all the characters actually speak their native languages, even though it's by a Chinese studio. Which normally you would expect Chinese voice acting to be default, but no, they. I don't even know if they even bother with Chinese voice acting. Maybe they did. You could open up YouTube memberships since you started streaming there again. I guess I could, yeah. Problem is, right now I only have 21 viewers on my over on YouTube. So, for now, I'm not gonna bother. There are Chinese and JP dubs. Okay, good. I was gonna say that'd be very strange for a Chinese gacha to not have Chinese voice acting. Okay, we're on Embassy 8 now, so it's time for me to actually manual play. Hope you'll get a job soon. I started a new seasonal temp job this Friday. So, it's a step in the right direction at least. How many stages are there? In Star Rail, Memories of Chaos, which again is the Abyss equivalent, there are 10 stages. It confused you are. Welcome back. How's it going? Going alright. Just going through 1.5 content right now. Hey, Mr. Walks, how's it going, man? Hope you've been doing well. Thanks so much for the 43. Saved 10k and pulled Gepard. Happens sometimes. It do be like that sometimes, unfortunately. Roll for Ghost Fox. I did, but I only threw in 2 multis because I don't know if you've heard Mr. Walks, but I am going to cease all gacha activities until I can actually get a fucking paycheck. So I'm going to go completely free to play. So no, that means I didn't get Huopo.
まりました。立ちなさい。千の珍奇を持って一心同期。直してやろうか。とりゃ。全員素晴らしい。さようなら。
When does Ether Gazer's maintenance end? In about 3.5 hours. Once you get past the FOMO, it gets easier not to spend. I would argue I've already been past that point years ago. Like, you have to understand, Mr. Walks, I got burnt out on specifically rolling gacha years ago. Like, even before I started playing Genshin, I was like, yeah, I'm like, this gacha stuff is pretty bullshit. You know? Like, when I say it sucks that I'm not going to be able to roll on gacha for the foreseeable future, I'm not saying it because, oh, I'm missing out on, you know, I'm missing out on, you know, these characters, and, oh, I want to roll gacha really badly because I love gacha, I love rolling. It's like, I care more about having the characters themselves because I just enjoy playing these fucking games. Like, I'm pretty fucking jaded as when it comes to actual gacha itself. It's like, if I could play gacha games and get every character without having to ever deal with the gacha ever again, then of course I wouldn't deal with the gacha ever again. Because why the fuck would I? Not pulling out my wallet since FGO is my main and favorite. That's big brain. I don't know what about that constitutes big brain. I mean, you're playing FGO. I don't know how much of a big brain move that is. I mean, it's not just FGO, obviously. If you play gacha games at all, I don't know how big your brain is, but it's definitely not big. Let's be fucking real. Lots of pyro favored teams for this MOC this time around. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder who the 5-star character was in the previous banner. To who has reached enlightenment, not by choice. Because if I had more money, you bet your ass I'd still be spending money on gacha. It's 2.
全てを照らさん。
厄介を避けん。亡者再臨。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。どんな隙も見逃さない。我に力を。
任せろ。
いい度胸だね。
I think I'll save ult charges for next stage.
代価を払っても我に力を。
始めよう。
天使を授けん。
時期を読んだいい資料だ。大事ない。
大丈夫。問題はない。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。我に力を。引けば見つけ。
亡者再臨。
So much for saving ult charges for the next stage.
お別れの時だ。厄介を避けん。
避けられない一戦。我に力を。くだらない。月光は剣と。この月下で全てを照らさん。
Oh, that was more on my talk about. That was more on my burnout on Gacha talk. Oh, even still, I wouldn't call that big brain either. The big brain move would have been to immediately stop playing gachas as soon as I got over the whole like gacha rolling thing. But like a fucking idiot, I continued to play anyway. Like, it's one thing for you to play gachas because, oh, you know, roll into gachas is fun or whatever. It's another thing entirely for you to continue playing gachas on top of that, even though you know gacha is shit, and you've kind of gotten over the whole, like, thrill and adrenaline of like, rolling like, gachas and gacha games and shit like that. So, again, either way, I don't think that's very big brain.
任せろ。
見たな。
我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った。守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
亡者再臨。
You hate the new robot? The Corpo robot? This guy? I think he's not that bad. I think he's probably the easiest boss enemy we have. It's not him who's tough, it's the fact that he summons so many other wage cucks along with him to fight you. That's the problem. But he himself is not an issue. At least not in my opinion.
我に力を。
大事ない。
お別れの時だ。
Do I need to use a skill point here? I'm actually gonna risk not using a skill point. There we go.
厄介を避けん。
適切な援助だった。我に力を。死ぬ。 前方に敵がいるわね。戦う？低血糖に注意し。天木不破。
Let's see. Do I start with Selly or Sorov? Go with Selly. Also, Evil 15, thanks so much for the 40 months. Really appreciated. Actually, I should have started with Silver Wolf.
ガツンとくるやつでいこう。砲丸を持ってみるべし。うっとうしいわね。あの世に送ってやる。楽にして蝶と共に散れ。スターレイファントム。
Huahua's first banner, yes. We talked about that already, Bubba Gumps. And Hanya is in fact on Argenti banner, so not right now.
私を楽しませてくれる？ガツンとくるやつでいこう。消化勝利。しつこい。陰陽転換。記録開始。へえ、リポット。うっとうしいわね。いや、楽にした蝶と共に散れ。スターレイファントム。
40-month sub. I think the longest sub I have is something like 42. I forget if it's 42 or 43. Because I became a partner, or I became an affiliate on Twitch back in May of 2020, I think. Something like that. April or May. There we go.
しつこい。世の万人事な。
He has 2 phases. Go for it. Yeah, Mr. Walks is like 43 because he's a founding sub.
ガツンとくるやつでいこう。占いましょう。消化勝利。うっとうしいわね。楽にしてあげる。蝶と共に散れ。スターレイファントム。いや、あの世に送ってやる。最終目標し。
I think we're gonna have to focus the plants here first.
砲丸をも。しつこい。いや、あの世に送ってやる。次。
And Silver Wolf is out too. Like, have you been living under a rock when it comes to what is it in terms of Star Rail news? Like, they announced it officially like weeks ago.
早く試し切りを。うっとうしいわね。
Almost. Get rid of it.
ガツンとくるやつでいこう。バトル体験を改善。2倍速ってこんなもん。虫に刺されちゃ転換。
Congrats on at least finding temp work. Yeah, after like fucking 2 or 3 months of looking. God, fucking job seeking is complete utter fucking trash, dude. How the fuck is an introvert like me supposed to just realistically supposed to find a fucking job in this day and age? Jesus Christ. Urgently hiring, urgently seeking, blah blah blah, and then they ghost you for 2 or 3 fucking weeks. Holy shit, what a joke. How long did you upload on YouTube for before starting getting a consistent audience? Like, are you asking just in general or specifically for FGO/Gacha games? Job hiring market is a cesspit of misery and depression. The more I look for jobs, the more I understand that to be the case. Yeah. Truly, nepotism is the way to go. And hey, I should know. This is MOC 10. Yeah. I believe this is the same as before. Yeah, it should be. I will actually use Daniel Alter for once, because I usually don't use him. But I will bust them out here for this very special occasion. Let me go to the bathroom real quick first. Took you 3 months before you found yours. It's been about 2 or 3 months since I started job hunting myself, so we'll see if I have the same luck or not. Feels weird to upload and not get, just in general, feels weird to upload and not get comments. Well, that's gonna happen when you first start out. Yeah. Just in general. So I first started uploading videos back when I was still playing like Combat Arms, and that was well over a decade ago. It depends, honestly. It depends on the game. It depends on the environment of that game, how much demand there is to watch like content for that game. So for Combat Arms, when I started making content for that game, it was like the game was like well into like halfway through its life cycle, I think. Because the reason why I wanted to become a YouTuber was because I watched, like, I grew up back in like the 07, 08 days, back when YouTube, like the gaming side of YouTube was first like finding its legs, so to say, right? When it was first developing. Like I grew up with the likes of like Nanners and like the and Hutch and like the super OG Call of Duty people, right? The people who first started getting like making a name for themselves and getting big channels off of posting like Call of Duty videos and shit like that. You know, console COD players and everyone else. So and then I because of that, I also watched like YouTubers who made content for the game I played, so Combat Arms. And there were a few big ones in my game too, or in Combat Arms too. And so I was like, hey, I want to try that. I want to try doing that too. So when I got older, when I got a little older, and I was able to convince my parents to get me the equipment that I needed, so a gaming laptop in my case, and then I fiddled around and tried to fiddled around with like different kinds of recording software, blah blah blah, and help me get started. Really shitty, Turtle Beach mic or whatever. Actually, it wasn't that bad for the time. But anyways, I started making videos myself too. The thing is that at the time, the bigger Combat Arms YouTubers were already kind of starting to, like, I wouldn't say fall off, but like the biggest one at the time was named Backstar, and he kind of just stopped uploading because I guess he just wasn't interested in the game anymore, and IRL took more and more priority for him as the years went on. So he stopped. By the time I came onto the scene, he more or less stopped making videos, and so did a lot of the other OGs. But me and like a handful of other people stepped up at around the same time to kind of take up the mantle, so to speak. And so back then, since Combat Arms was still a pretty popular game, a decent chunk of people still watched or still played it, and were still willing to consume content for that game. Like, I did pretty well for myself. I forget exactly how long it took for me, like how many videos, how much time it took for me to like make a name for myself, but I don't think it took that long. It was within half a year, I think. Within half a year, when I seriously started like making content, that like I was starting to get people who were recognizing me in game. Like, I would go into a random pub lobby. Most of it was pub lobbies anyway, and I would get like just in the in-game lobby chats, I would get people asking me, is that the real two? Shit like that. So yeah. And by the time I was like a year or two in, about a year and a half in, I was able to like host like viewer lobbies and shit like that, so on and so forth. So yeah, it was like a mix of like different conditions and circumstances, but I don't think it took me that long, no. Actually, kind of the same thing for FGO, because by the time I started playing gacha games, my YouTube channel itself was already in a super downward trend, because by that time I had already quit Combat Arms, like, mostly for good, and like I went like a year or two without really posting videos, like Combat Arms videos, or just any videos in general. And so by that time, a lot of the people who initially followed my YouTube channel for Combat Arms stuff, they weren't playing Combat Arms anymore, because at that point, like, the game was like basically dead. Like, very few people were still playing of like the original, of back when I started making content, myself included, obviously. So most of us had already moved on. So obviously, if I tried going back and making combat arms videos, then like how many people would really watch, right? Maybe some people, but
はいトパーズです
obviously not as much
呼ばせよ
as it used to be.
にはお
So when I first started getting into gacha games, I used my experience making videos back when I was doing like combat arms stuff, and I started making videos for FGO, obviously first and foremost. And it was almost like the same situation when I started making videos for FGO. Like we had our initial few like kind of bigger FGO content creators, like some of you will remember, you know, Not a Whale, dare I mention his name. And his buddy, I forget what his buddy's name was. It's been so long.
トパーズです
His roommate basically back when they were living together in like Vegas or whatever.
わかりました
But yeah, those two. I remember watching GNA reviews' videos back in the day. Still do sometimes every now and then, just for old time's sake. And yeah, like I saw these other content creators. I was like, hey, I'm getting big, kind of big into FGO myself here. So how about I make some videos of my own too? And so I did. I started making FGO videos too. And, you know, give it like another half a year to like a year, and, you know, people started recognizing me, started watching my videos too, because at the time, I think I started making videos after the whole Not a Whale's drama went down, and like the community, like I had already kind of chased them out of the, we had already chased them out of the community, like just generally speaking. And so by the time I came in as a quote content creator, like, and Not a Whale, his buddy, and other people had already, like people who had initially made videos to get people into FGO, stopped making videos for FGO. So yeah, like I came in at a good time basically, where people were like, hey, I want to watch this dude's you know, like servant review videos. Well, they're not really review. I always kind of differentiated my content by saying they weren't review videos. They were more like overview videos on how to play these characters if you have them. Anyone know if there are still upcoming great healers and patches for to come for Star Rail? Huohuo is the one that we have right now. She's available now. I don't know if we have any more healers on the horizon for now, unless they give us a Luocha rerun, but they haven't announced that yet, or the leaks haven't suggested that yet, so not sure. So yeah, again, to answer your question, generally around 6 months to a year to like grow to start growing, like to have by that point to have like some sort of like considerable audience. But again, it really depends. Like I've been trying, like ever since I tried to go, you know, whole full-time content creator thing, and tried to go big on like Genshin and Star Rail, like kind of what I'm doing right now. Obviously, I haven't succeeded, right? I'm still a sub 100 viewer Andy, like I've always been, ever since I started streaming Genshin and Star Rail as my two main stream games. So, like, and that the reason for that is because I came onto the scene too late. What I should have done was I should have been streaming full-time and making content full-time back when Genshin came out. Technically speaking, I'm 3 years too late. So for somebody like me, it's just incredibly difficult without, like, external help, like shoutouts and raids from, like, bigger streamers to, like, make it out here on my own. It's just not gonna happen at this point. Was it about the account selling drama? No, that was Razor Ninjas. Well, technically Razor Ninjas was something different. But Not a Whale, the drama that I know about Not a Whale specifically was that he did giveaways, but he didn't pay out the giveaways, or he didn't give the rewards to the people who won them. So essentially, he was doing giveaways just for clout, and for subscribers, for more subs on YouTube. Leak folder dead at the moment. Yeah, I think the most recent leaks that I've seen on Twitter were for like Sheyi's and Dr. Ratios and who is it? Ruin May's like gameplay video clips or whatever. How are my Red Hood pulls? It took me like literally a week and a half to finally pull her. I think by that point I had pulled like 10 or 11 SSRs and only got 1 Red Hood. Matter of fact, I got on my final pull, on my final multi to finally pull Red Hood, I actually got my luckiest Nikke multi ever, where I rolled 4, I got a quad SSR roll. Only one of them was still Red Hood. So, Nikke can go fuck itself. Specifically, it's Gacha, I guess. Have a dog, put a dog on its own cam while gaming, profit. Technically, there are people who already do that. So, that wouldn't exactly be an original idea. Do I like Ruin May? Well, she's cute. That's all I really care about. Saying his name after so long is still a surprise that he's remembered. Well, I remembered that I graduated from college with a history degree, so I do have a tendency to remember things. I might miss details here and there, but as far as like a general picture goes, and like keeping in mind like the big names of the day, you know, I think I'm pretty proficient at that at least, or I can be if I want to. They ghost you because a person reads, it's not a person who reads the resume, just an algorithm. While I wouldn't doubt that, even if it was a person, what I understand, from my understanding with job applications and like the hiring managers who have to go through them, like they potentially go through like dozens, even hundreds a day. So like, if they don't see a resume, it literally depends on their mood. Like, oh, I feel like, they look at one person's resume and say, oh yeah, this guy feels pretty good, let's go with this guy, and they'll just completely ignore the rest of them. Like hiring, from what I understand, a lot of hiring procedures aren't even like merit based. It's literally you are literally at the mercy of like whoever the hiring manager is at the time. Like obviously hiring managers should try to, you know, go off of, you know, some sort of meritocracy to find like the best fit for their job, but even then that's not always the case. It's like literally, hey, you know, do you feel lucky, punk? It's like, hey, guess what? Hiring managers in a bad minute. Get rid of all the job applications. Bring me a new batch. If your application was in that batch, get fucked, bitch. Get fucked, bozo. Started watching FGO content, still enjoy hearing you. Hey, much appreciated, man. That means a lot. Should have kept this up. Should have kept that ultimate. Bad time to use it. Sounds a bit like Gacha look. I mean, turns out it makes complete sense that I got into Gacha. Who would have fucking known?
剣に連輪は不要。
弱っておるの。
As it fucking turns out,
よいしょ。
glad you got something though with my temp job. Yeah. Like it was the one job where it was like, oh, like no interview required. Like if you sign up here, if you sign up, you know, if there's like a position open that you want, and you're the first to sign up for it, here you go. So, thankful for that at least. I wonder if this will give me a, yep, it'll give me a roll.
避けられない一戦。我に力を。我々はとうに嵐に踏み入った守るべき者のために打ち崩せ。
送ってやろう。
And yeah, I'm not trying to, if there are I know that apparently there are some hiring managers or people who used to be that in my chat right now. I'm not saying that I fault you for that. Obviously, you know, most people's jobs are pretty hard. I mean, hey, everybody wants to be a content creator, but you know, a lot of people will find out when if they actually do become like a successful content creator or whatever that hey, like this isn't really for me. Every job has its own fair share of bullshit. So I ain't out here trying to like judge anyone super hard that, oh, you should do your jobs better or anything like that. It's just that's just how it is sometimes. Or that's just how it goes sometimes. There's not really much anybody can do about it. Like me sitting here and being mad at how the world works isn't gonna change the fact that I have less than $300 in my bank account.
発目しても魚水償いたまえ。
困りました。諸悪大佐、千の珍奇をも一心同期。
戦輪は権限し総理世を注が
お別れの時だ。
占いましょう。
天候さあ飲め。
大丈夫、問題はない。
輪を持って尊しとなす。
Two same people.
いい度胸だね。もうじゃ再臨。
不利などない。
I need to remember to when it's on the second turn of Luocha's healing field, I need to remember to let his turn end first and then use his ultimate. So that way I have I'm one step closer to his next healing field. It's a bad habit that I had that I gotta get rid of.
そうよ一体。
この力が騒いで天候の
一気に片付けましょう。
お別れの時だ。
使うつもりはなかった。
客をもてなさないと。諸悪大佐。陰陽転換。
戦輪は権限した総理世を注が
Everyone's targeted. Woohoo!
の万人事な
この力が健康の花。さあ飲め。
陰陽転換。
いい度胸だね。
Do you think Earth won the gacha for life? Considering we have not found any signs of intelligent life, like any definitive proof that life exists outside of Earth, then I'd say so, yes.
何をためらう。
Until such time comes that we figure out that, you know, aliens exist for real, but...
そうよ一体。
使うつもりはなかった。
That day may come, but not right now.
亡者再臨。
客をもてなさないと。
Fushwan's ruined your ability to keep squishy team members alive when she's not there. Yeah, she spoils you. She spoils players pretty rotten, at least the people who have her, huh? Turns out she's a really good character. Who knew?
占いましょう。
千里総理世を注が。
話し合いましょう。世の万人事な千の地域を持って一心同
Still no intelligence on Earth, though. True. Though I will say it depends on what kind of intelligence you're talking about.
和をもって尊しとなす。諸悪退散。
Technically, I should save. Technically, I should save this for when he spawns more enemies. Actually, yeah, I think I'll save some of this shit. This is one.
砲丸を持ってみるべし。消化勝利。
天使を授けん。
有無相通ずる。
償いたまえ。
妙作だわ。
Surprisingly, he didn't spawn more enemies. The fuck is up with that?
この力健康の
Alright, fuck you.
不利などない。客をもてなさないと。
千輪は権限し総理世を注が。 健康さあ飲め。
諸悪退散。千の地域をも一心同期。話し合いに過ぎないわ。
厄介を避けん。
有無相通ずる。
いい度胸だね。
占いましょう。そうよ一体。
使うつもりはなかった。
Alright, here we go.
亡者再臨。
世の万物人事なす。
千輪は権限し総理世を注が。
お別れの時だ。
話し合いに過ぎないわ。陰陽転換。
健康
和を戻す。
There I go, using Luocha's ultimate after his healing field ends again.
客をもてなさないと。
Actually, I can just use a... I think I should be able to use a basic here. Yeah.
千の珍奇をも一心同期。
戦輪は剣総理世を注が
Okay, let's check my stamina. Still looking pretty good. Aren't we also supposed to have new what is it? Artifacts or relics rather. We have our new Simulated Universe 8 SU8 ornaments. Caverns of Corrosion. Let's see. We don't have what is it? New relics? I thought they were supposed to be part of 1.5, no? Maybe they're not available yet. Need new zone for caverns. Is that part of the event? Cause that'd be kind of strange if the event map has the new caverns. It is. Then I assume the maps are part of or the event is taking place on like pre-existing Xianzhou Luofu maps then? Where the hell is my style? What is this? Oh, just music. Is that supposed to be like Honkai Impact music or something? Alright. What else am I? What else? All right. Let's go do SU8 right now. You have to do the events for the cavern? And that's what I want to know. It's like, really now? Really now? All right, Nihility team, here we go. These are new enemy types. Mara Struck Warden. Do they also have resurrection abilities like the Mara Struck Soldiers or whatever?
も投げ銭はもらえないよ。
Hope not. Didn't look like they did. Don't think they resurrect like the others do.
こそこそとおとなしく。
These are also new enemies, I think, or at least this one is. Wraith Warden. Same model though, just recolored. Kind of hot, not gonna lie. Yeah, why they posing like that, you know?
新しい商売
Also, I just realized why all the enemies are dying in one hit. It's probably because I didn't even choose the max difficulty for the shit, right? Did I? Yeah, why are enemies all dying in one hit? Like, that's not just because I just started, like, this is the very start of the what is it? It's not just the start of the simulated universe run, no? Like, I think this might actually be the lowest difficulty. So let me leave for now. I wonder if I can double check if this is actually the correct difficulty. Oh, you have to do level 1 first anyway. Oh, no, the other difficulties are fucking locked. Okay, I guess we're sitting here for a while. It's kind of dumb how the game forces you to fucking go through each and every single fucking difficulty. Like, what? Fucking dumb, fucking dumbass mechanic. But again, it's MiHoYo, so... Surprise, surprise! MiHoYo comes up with yet another shitty gameplay mechanic. Fucking surprise, surprise. Free easy jades? Well, here's the thing, Omega. Here's an even better thing. How about you just give players all of the rewards for every single difficulty if they can do the last one? Like, why do you need to force players to go through every single individual difficulty? What if you know, there are players out there like me, for example, who can already do stage 4, right? Difficulty 4 simulated universe stages. Like, the fuck's the point of forcing us to do the first 3? Like, what? Like, Christ, dude. This is a new enemy type.
済ませられない？一子同時にな。いた？誰でも大歓迎。
What are you? You have titties. Arumaton Spectral Envoy takes oh, those are just our debuffs. Okay. I mean, we're only on difficulty 1. Shouldn't Kafka's ultimate on its own just one-shot everything? Actually, no. Surprisingly. Also, Voshi, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for the 42-month resub. Welcome back. Why are they all hot like they're from some sort of a Korean MMO? No kidding. No fucking kidding, man. Let's see. This is we increase wearer's attack by 12%. Speed is equal to blah blah blah. Whereas the wearer deals 12 to 18% more damage. And this one was energy regen rate by 5%, increases damage for blah blah blah. This will probably be a very good support set. Though it's a little more. This is a little more specific. So I'm not sure if I'm going to give this set to any of my characters, but I can definitely see this being very good on like certain builds. I mean, it's kind of designed to be, so. Oh well. First roll is attack percent with shitty substats, as usual. Looks great for Asta. Looks great for anybody who wants to run mono quantum. So that set looks perfect for who is it? Lynx. Lynx and maybe even Fushuan. Yeah. For Star Rail, there's a launcher update too. Yeah, there is for every patch. For every new client version, yes, there's always a new client like a launcher update too. That's always how it's been. Ice damage boost, attack percent. This is actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. What happened to yesterday's stream? I was dual streaming. I usually dual stream these days to both my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. The problem is I think the restream server that I was streaming to must have shit the bed or something. So it cut off my stream at some point, and when I tried going live again, it just wouldn't for some reason. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. So I had to switch my stream key back to a Twitch only server, and that worked. So I assumed there was some problems with my with whatever server that I was using to restream my stream to both, or to dual stream basically. So it took me like 8 or 10 minutes to realize what was going on and fix the issue. If Star Rail really wants to give Genshin a blow, they should give the MC an outfit. I don't know what makes you think that that's a good idea, or that it's going to somehow damage Genshin. But okay. Have you done the air conquest? Nope, I have not. Did you pull for Huohuo yet? I did, but I only had like at max 2 multis, and obviously I didn't get her. Oh, now it unlocks difficulty 4. That's fucking stupid. Alright, well at least I didn't have to fucking deal with the other two. Like difficulty 2 and 3, I guess. Why didn't you just let me do 8-4 to begin with, though? Fucking shitty ass game. And of course, I'd start with no fucking nihility buff. It'd be funny to watch the funny part of the community, I guess. If that's all you care about, just watching people get salty, then sure, hell, I'm down for it too. Watching people fucking watching Genshin players have a fucking meltdown over shit is always entertaining. Until they do things like, you know, send death threats to voice actors. That's a little too far though. Let's maybe not do that, you know? Both are from the same devs and companies, so the idea of one game wanted to damage the other is pretty stupid too. It's not too far-fetched. When one game studio has to manage multiple gachas, especially if they're not a very big studio itself, like already. We don't have that issue with MiHoYo. MiHoYo has properly, you know, expanded to be able to properly support both their games, and obviously Zenless Zone Zero when that game comes out too. So we don't have to worry about MiHoYo. We don't have to worry about MiHoYo being too small to be able to manage all their games at once. They don't even have that many games to begin with anyway. Like, they've got Honkai Impact, obviously. They've got Tears of Themis. So that's 2 right there. I think they have one other gacha game that I'm forgetting. I think that was one that's not very well known. Like, we're not talking about Genshin or Star Rail here. But obviously we include those 2, and now we have 4. I think at the moment MiHoYo is managing 5. And then 6 if you count Zenless Zone Zero once that game comes out. So, like, if you're a company that, like, like you're too small to be able to handle all that, then yeah, there is a very real danger that you won't be able to properly support all of them. So all of your games will suffer as a result. But in MiHoYo's case, that's not a concern, obviously. So. It's 52 crit rate, 263 crit damage, good build for Hotel. Get your crit rate up to 70%. How many times do I have to tell you this, Naruto? The game is not just stack your crit damage as high as you can go, and you know that's the game. I don't care what the rest of the Genshin community says you should do. 50 crit rate, 263 crit damage is not ideal. You are much better off statistically with a 70 crit rate, like 200, like 20% crit damage build instead. And Kylondia, thanks for gifting a sub to JME Bane 96. Greatly appreciated. When Z3 comes out, we're gonna get Hoyo game news every other week with four gachas of them. Actually proud of Hoyo. Think Star Rail will win Best Mobile of the Year and Genshin will win Best Ongoing for sure. Yeah, it's looking pretty likely. But, you know, Game awards are all basically just glorified popularity contests, so I don't give a shit about any of them. The only reason I care about the Game Awards to any degree is to watch like upcoming games and people's reactions to them. That's pretty much it. Like all of the awards, like no offense to anybody who actually wins those awards, but like on it, like real talk, and like those awards themselves can go fuck themselves. Am I gonna play Z3? I will try, yes. I let you use food buffs in simulated universe now. For some reason, in my head, I have this weird notion that they always let you do that. So to me, when I saw you say that in chat, I'm like, wow, they never let you do that before. Almost surreal that they don't let you do that, to be honest. Sampo, where are you? What are you doing throwing your smoke bomb the other way? Also, Tyrare, thanks so much for the 43. I saw the notification on stream, but I didn't hear an audio jingle, so that must mean my alert box is fucking dead again. There we go. Having crit damage is worthless if you can't actually crit. Yeah, or at least if you can't crit as often, yeah. You found good artifacts when your crit rate goes up, crit damage drastically goes down to 230. You think a 26% crit damage difference is a big difference? Are you fucking kidding me, Naruto? I should ask you first, how much crit rate are you losing then? Or how much crit rate are you gaining? Because if you are going from 50% crit rate up to 60, I think that is worth it. I still think a 60 CR, 230 CD ratio is still good enough. Even better if you're able to get to 70, but I don't think you'll be able to get to 70. Not with the artifact quality that I know you have. But like, bro, your crit damage going from 256 down to 230 is like nothing. It's not like you're going from like, say, 180 down to 150. That's a much bigger difference. You already have plus 200% crit damage. Like, to be completely honest with you, Genshin characters don't need more than 200% crit damage in order to 36-star Abyss. But then again, that assumes that a lot of your DPS characters have 200% plus crit damage. Like, the hard part is getting multiple characters to have crit stats that look like that. But if you're only talking about one character, going from 256 down to 230 is not a big fucking deal. It's not. Not to me, anyway. If you think that's a big deal, then that's probably not a problem with the character whose stats you're changing, but it's probably a problem with the rest of your team, to be honest with you. Like, what the fuck is the rest of your team doing? Skill tree suddenly has a new skill slot now. Well, I guess we found out now. Just running on MH, or alternatively, if Naruto doesn't want to touch his crit damage, that's fine. But at least run that team with, like, say, like Rosaria, because Rosaria is one of the characters in Genshin who can directly give crit rate to her team. I think she gives like what, 12% or something when she uses her skill and she manages to backstab somebody with it. Like, if you wanna micromanage Rosaria's mechanic of her giving crit rate to the whole team for like what, like 10 seconds or so, then yeah, sure, you can do that. so that way his Hu Tao's crit rate can go from like 52% or something up to at least like 64, 65 or something like that. That'd be much better at least, but problem is, does he have Rosaria built? I don't know. He's never talked about, I don't remember him talking about Rosaria ever. So I don't know if he has, or I don't know if he does have a Rosaria built yet, if ever, if at all. Your Rosaria is built? Okay, how comfortable are you running Rosaria with Hu Tao then? Like, she should be able to. Like, you can run Rosaria as a sub DPS, or like a melt support, because we're using her with Hu Tao. All of these fucking curios are trash. I'll go with that one, I guess. I just realized that I should not have fucking used my immersive fire tokens on the fucking difficulty 1 simulated universe stages, because I was wondering to myself why the simulated universe token redemptions were only giving me 1 gold relic at a time, and now I realize why. It was because it was on fucking difficulty 1. Made the same mistake. Fuck me, Hoyo, man. Fucking shitty ass, small but shitty ass decisions that they constantly make. Game of the year, by the way. Fucking Christ. Would definitely done it again. Yeah, feels great knowing that other people will benefit at my expense. Always nice thing to read in chat, you know? Appreciate it. Used her with Hu Tao and she's comfortable to use. Okay, then I would say as long as you run Rosaria with your Hu Tao as she is, as long as you run those two together, then you don't have to change Hu Tao's stats at all. If that's what you don't want, or if that's what you prefer, and obviously you do. I think like around 60, like around 65 crit rate is good enough. It's still a little bit lower than I'd personally prefer, but 65 is honestly good enough. Like 70 is ideally where you kind of want to be, but at least me personally. But 65 should be good enough. You really don't want to have your DPS at like sub 60. I think 60 is like the lowest you can go in terms of crit rate in Genshin, where I would personally find that acceptable. Like 50 is a little too low. It's too inconsistent. Like at least run your DPSs with at least 60, and then you can start, you know, stacking crit damage as much as you want. Weakness break, efficiency, or damage of follow-up attacks. I think I'd prefer going for the weakness break. Just like Jesus, you die for my sins. Thank you. Yeah, makes me feel honestly, describes my situation perfectly right now, to be honest with you. The one guy who actually cares about gacha games, unlike all the rest of these dumbass streamers, who call themselves gacha streamers, but all they do is upload drama content and themselves rolling on gacha. truly thankless
僕は
in
友
this
情を
fucking
重んじる
community,
タイ
you
プ
know?
なんで
Truly fucking thankless. Thank God I'm going off to go start my temp job later this week. That'll be fun. See you guys in about 4 months, I guess.
「楽しめるとはい」
Oh, there's the damage one. We could take that instead. How many nihility buffs do we even have? This run is so shit for nihility. Only 10? We don't even have our next one for... We don't even have enough for a stage 2. What is it? A stage 2 nihility resonance. May as well take this. Who knows if I fucking reset the buffs, I just get nothing but shitty preservation buffs or something. Why did I fucking auto? And look, wasted the nihility blessing.
"新しい商売ですか?」はい 大しちゃお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ弱っておるのとりゃ落ち着いてさようなら
How many elation blessings do I have? 3. Honestly, this one is not bad. 3, 4 goes up to what, like 36%? This one is actually not bad. Then again, maybe I'm over focusing on elation blessings. Then again, what else is even better? Hey, can I have some interplay with nihility and elation? Is this the swarm game mode?
"お客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ」
61 crit rate, 226 crit damage. With Rosaria's skill, that should take her up to like 70 plus crit rate. Yeah, 70 plus crit rate and 226 crit damage is much better in my opinion. Like your damage should be much more consistent there. But again, if you feel like that's not enough crit damage, again you can go back to Hu Tao's old artifacts, but you just need to make sure to run Hu Tao with your Rosaria, so she has at least 60% crit rate.
何か新しいことでもはじ
素晴らしいさようならよいしょ落ち着いて
はい
呼吸するその
僕は友情を重んじ大しちゃってお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ
立ちなさいズルはしないでよね全員死刑素晴らしいさようなら落ち着いて
When you use Rosaria's skill, Hu Tao's crit doesn't go up. You are probably not making sure Hu Tao backstabs. It's specifically only on backstabs. Is how it works. I will confirm for you because I'm the one who brought it up. Let's see. Oh no, it's not her skill. My bad. That's my bad on. That's my yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, I thought it was her skill, but it's not. Okay, I was getting it confused because her skill when she backstabs somebody increases her own crit rate, but then her ult is the one that gives yeah, her ultimate, thanks to her second passive, is the one that gives crit rate to everybody on your team. So it's not her skill, it's her ult that gives party crit rate. So that's my bad. So make sure your Rosaria has good good ER on her, yeah? 4-piece emblem and all that. It also specifically says it increases Rosaria's crit rate, or it gives the whole party what is it, 15% of 15% of her own crit rate. So the ideal support Rosaria combo is E into her Q immediately. Because her second passive also takes into account the bonus crit rate she gives herself from using her first passive. So, one, make sure Rosaria is actually stabbing somebody from behind with her skill. Remember that does not work on big enemies, like the Ruin Guards, the big hilly churls. I don't think. Maybe she backstabs them. I don't know. But any big, massive enemy, she cannot backstab, or at least not by default. Maybe if you position her behind them, but that doesn't really make sense because enemies are always facing you. So, yeah, I don't know how you'd be able to put Rosaria behind an enemy like that. I'm not sure if she can backstab bosses, like elite bosses. I'm assuming the answer is no. Because if she can't backstab, if she doesn't auto backstab like the bigger enemies, then like what are the chances of her being able to backstab like a boss? But any smaller enemy, you want to backstab them first. Make sure your Rosaria is close enough to them where she can teleport behind them when she uses her skill, and then use her ultimate. Otherwise, if you're going up against like a bigger enemy or like a boss, you don't need to worry about that. Just ult with her right away. The Glamoth set, the new Glamoth set wants you to run 160 speed. I mean, if you can even get them there. My question is getting a character to 160 speed worth the extra damage buff? Worth the extra damage buff? Like that's kind of what I'm concerned with. Let's take that for now. But my big funny number damage YouTube clickbait thumbnails though. That Silverwolf's banner would be after maintenance right now. Nope, not right now. It'll be with Argenti's banner in 3 weeks. So come back in 3 weeks. Discard a 3-star blessing, obtain another 3-star blessing. Honestly, I don't want to. You can go fuck yourself.
誰でも大歓迎。
Yeah, I can just use this right away. Because I should have the doctor's robe or whatever the fuck that's called.
寄ってらっし一発ド派手にいくよ。
落ち着いて。
当たらはい。
しててよかった。よいしょ。
期待しちゃお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ。
素晴らしい。さようなら。
More of the speed buff supports give you to get 160 speed. I see. That makes more sense then, yeah. Somebody better crunch those numbers because 160 speed is pretty ridiculous. No, it's what awesome dude in chat said. It's gonna be pretty difficult getting a character to like 161 speed on their own. So you're gonna have to rely on speed buffing characters like Asta, anybody who has the speed set, the speed relic set, or I think Hanya buffs speed as well. I think. So yeah, basically people who buff speed. So yeah, you specifically need more realistically, you're gonna need their help to get a DPS character to like 161 speed, something like that. All right, Yanshin time.
痛い。
誰でも大歓迎。
期待しちゃお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ。
寄ってらっし一発ド派手にいくよ。
Hey, look, they actually properly display all of the debuffs that the enemies have now. Kind of reminds me of when FGO updated, put in an update where it shows all of your characters as or a lot more of your characters as buffs by adding another row on top of it.
僕ははい。
立ちなさい。素晴らしい。さようなら。
And Sally can buff herself there on her own. Yeah, I would expect her to. Yeah.
いいね。よっ。剣よ。我が命じる。
こいつ。
悪を払う。
こいつ。
寄ってらっし一発ド派手にいくよ。
Have you tried quad dot team comps? No, because I like keeping my team alive.
期待しちゃお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ。
直してやろうか。
I'm pretty sure each sword has their own elemental weakness. I'm gonna have to probably memorize them for SU8 runs.
落ち着いて。
Okay, the one on the left is weak to Electro.
よっ。これはどう？虫なども。素晴らしい。さようなら。パン。さあ、行け。
Looks like I'm gonna have to bring a debuff clearer with I'm gonna have to bring Lynx next time. Links, or at least Lucha.
見せて強弾の薬よ。ナイス。悪を払う。
こいつ
寄ってら一発ド派手にいくよ。
期待しちゃお客様を裏切れと追加料金ですよ。
これはどう？
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I think that did like what, 4,000 damage? So I can see how he was able to one-shot your Clara if my if Yanqing just did like 4,000 damage to my actually technically it was even more because my Bailu healed herself for about 1,000 again. So he did like 5,000 damage, I think.
落ち着いて。さあ行け。素晴らしい。さようなら。期待に応えられなく。
So yeah, he's quite dangerous. Definitely be able to one-shot one of your characters if you're not careful. Hey, perfect. What is it? Perfect ER piece. ER has effect res. Of course, double defense because MiHoYo doesn't know how to give, doesn't know how to drop energy regen ropes that don't have double flat defense of some kind. And a fire damage boost. I don't know how much this is really gonna matter. Yeah, I think elemental main stats are kind of worthless on that set. Break effect, attack percent, decent speed and effect res. Are any of these worth considering? It's attack percent and double crit, but it's on the fucking Panakani set. Like, if this were on the other set, then at least it'd be worth considering. But even then, it's only attack percent, so what the fuck? It's not even like at the end of the day, who the fuck cares? Might be good on a support that scales off of attack. Well, obviously, yeah, but the substats are kind of wasted on them, you know? That's more I was trying to get at. Cuz like obviously supports, unless your name is Bronya, supports don't give a shit about crit stats. Like you're not going to be running a support as a DPS now, are you? All right, Veloric, thanks for hanging out, man. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Even more now that they scale off HP and don't really use attack stat at all. Yeah, like our one support who... Actually, no, it's not just... technically, it's not just Tingyun. Asta technically scales off of attack, too. Technically. Though, just in a very narrow sense. Her and, Yukong, yeah. Because Yukong also technically scales off of attack, but it's like, for both Asta and Yukong, it's like both only on their talents. And their talents aren't exactly, like... Oh, no. Asta's talent does support the team because that's where her attack buff comes from. But yeah, I actually don't remember if Asta even technically scales with anything at all. I mean, we can go check. Like, I think her attack buff doesn't require, like, stats technically. If I recall correctly, anyway. Yeah, it's just based on how many, stack of charge she has. And then, yeah, her ultimate just buffs everybody's speed by a flat amount. Doesn't scale with anything. Yeah, the only thing that scales with attack on Asta is just damage on her skill. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, technically she scales off something, but it's not really a. It doesn't really support the team. So. And yeah, like supports these days want to scale more with attack because enemies are getting more and more dangerous. So you need your teammates, you need your characters to just survive. Like, good luck bringing a character with sub 3k HP into like SU7 or SU8 or some shit. See how long they last without, like, you know, see how long they last if you don't have like the proper blessings to cover them or whatever. Storm 5 definitely taught you that lesson. I learned that lesson when I started doing MOC personally. Like as soon as like the first time I started doing like MOC like 8 or 9 or whatever, I was like, yeah, like HP is actually an issue now. So like that's the reason why my Tingyun currently has like what, like 3400 HP or something like that. Yeah, 3400 HP. And while that's not like a whole ton, right? It's not like 4,000 or 5,000 HP levels, but like back when I first started playing Star Rail, when Star Rail first came out, like Tingyun, like I was lucky and I got Tingyun off of like regular banner, like regular Stellar Warp banner. So obviously I like played most of early game with her, and like I was always complaining about how Tingyun was always the first to die because she was the squishiest character by far. And so I was like, so even back when I first started, I was like, damn, like characters having low HP is actually kind of a problem in this game. So when I finally revised her relics, I made sure to give her some relics that actually had some like HP substats to them. At least that way she'd be able to survive a little bit better, you know. Hey Rio Fernando, how's it going, man? Do you recommend Star Rail for people who dislike Genshin exploration? Yes, because this game doesn't really have that sort of exploration. It does have maps, as you can see here. There is a star map, and there are different worlds that you can go to, so you can kind of think of them as like Genshin regions, but it's not open world. It's just that each planet is divided into different zones that you can visit. And each zone has like, you know, its own places to go to and interactables. There are treasure chests that are scattered throughout each of these maps that you can go find, and if you find them, you know, they'll give you more goodies like stellar jades, which is the gacha currency and whatnot. But it's nowhere near the levels of like Genshin, where like Genshin has like hundreds or even up to 1,000 chests per region or shit, like something like that. Notably in some of the more, you know, recent regions. But here in Star Rail, you only need to find like, I don't know, for example, I don't know, fuck it, like here in the starting area, you only need to find, you know, 7 treasure chests and one warp trotter that you gotta go find and fight and whatnot. It's very simple. Like if you know what the Genshin exploration grind feels like you'll already be equipped to deal with whatever Star Rail has, and it'll be much easier for the most part. Because yeah, Star Rail is not an open world game like Genshin is. Like it has elements, of an open world, but it's not a true open world. So, it's got some similar mechanics, some similar gameplay stuff, but nothing on the level of Genshin. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Star Rail for people who if you like Genshin, like the characters and the way the game is like managed and shit like that, but you don't like having to like deal with all the exploration bullshit, then yeah, come play Star Rail. Because Star Rail is a lot more gameplay focused compared to Genshin. Genshin is mainly exploration. Like, if you actually want to play a game, rather than go, do Dora the Explorer simulator for, 80% of your time playing Genshin, then yeah, Star Rail is probably more up your alley. Who knew that she was gonna die in the story? I still don't think they're gonna keep her dead, though. Because, this is MiHoYo we're talking about. They take their lore too seriously. So it's like, how you gonna just kill off a character, in, the fucking second chapter of the story and not do anything with it? At least when they killed off Himeko and Honkai Impact, I'm pretty sure that was, an actual important, point in the story. Her death was actually, them offing her was actually, at least in the perspective of from a storytelling perspective, was actually had some meaning to it. But what the fuck is the meaning of killing off Tingyun? Who the hell cares? So the answer, yeah, no problem. She isn't dead, she's just missing. They killed Himeko, but now she's back here? Yeah, apparently. Imagine if they transplant Star Rail Himeko back into Honkai Impact. Nobody cared that she dies. Yeah, straight up. People could just kind of meme it. Because one, it was too sudden, and two, Tingyun didn't really have that much character development. People care about her gameplay-wise, but that's pretty much it. If you want a character, if from a storytelling perspective, if you want people to care about a character dying, then you gotta have to set it up. Especially if you're gonna kill off a character that fast, you better have some damn good storytelling to actually make people care. Otherwise, they won't. It's just to be like, oh, cool, a character died, yeah. And it's the way that Tingyun, quote, died, too. It's she twisted her neck a little too far when she was being possessed by, Fantilia, or whatever the name of that big booty, that big titty bitch was. Yeah, and also, yeah, exactly. It's ain't no way, MiHoYo is gonna actually keep her dead, yeah. And by this point, I would argue that even if MiHoYo is actually serious with is serious about keeping Tingyun dead, it's still too late. Most of us would still not really give a shit that Tingyun is actually legit dead in the story. It's oh, she's actually dead for real. Oh, okay, well, whatever, AI Win, how's it going, man? Not sure if I said that before, but to be fair, she was a spy the entire time. I mean, yeah, but it's so much easier setting up background lore than it is to actually tell a story. It's the reason why Genshin's lore is a lot more interesting than the actual story that is unfolding in the game itself, for the most part. Hopefully, when I eventually get around to reading Farina's Archon quest or whatever, like either the main Archon quest or her character quest specifically, whichever one is the good one. I will hopefully change my mind on that, because it's about time that Genshin's story actually became somewhat good. I mean, it was getting good with Sumeru's story, but I do think that Sumeru's story did drag on a little bit, especially with that weird fucking like dream world, like fucking like Groundhog Day, fucking Fate Hollow Ataraxia bullshit. Like that part of the story did kind of drag on a little bit, but. You ever roll gacha characters because of horny? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, since we're playing Star Rail, before Kafka came out, I had my doubts that Kafka was actually gonna be any good, because before Kafka came out, we already knew that pure AoE characters are not that good in this game, right? Like, look at Jingyuan, look at any of the other erudition characters leading up to Kafka. Like, the meta was already slowly starting to shift to like the splash damage characters, like the like Blade and Blade, and then Daniel Alter, and then lastly Jingliu. Like, we already knew the meta was kind of starting to shift towards that anyway, right? Like, the pure AoEs, the Genuines, like I said, the Himekos, the Servals, whatever, they weren't really all that. So, and we didn't know how good or at least I didn't know how good Kafka's whole like DOT explosion mechanic, where she takes DOTs either she herself makes or her teammates make, and then she blows them up, right, with her skill or her ultimate. I didn't know how good that was gonna be. I'm sure people kind of already knew before Kafka came out, because, leaks. But I certainly didn't. So up until that point, I was like, how good is Kafka gonna be? I don't know. Like, I have some reservations about her gameplay-wise. Still wasn't gonna stop me from rolling her E2, even if she turned out to be bad. So, there you go. And I'm sure I've done that for other gacha games too. I mean, Azure Lane is basically you roll because the new character has titties and ass, so that's an entire game like that. Fontaine's stories hit different? I would hope so. Can you ask a weird question? Yeah, go for it, Zeddy. Horny as hell. Most people got into gachas. Not that uncommon to hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, I started playing this one gacha game because I read a doujin that had a character that I thought was hot, so now I'm playing the game now." I've seen people like that come in every now and then. Erudition, what's that? I only know destruction. Yeah, exactly. It turned out Kafka was the exact opposite of bad. Fucking single-handedly enables DOT teams to actually be fucking good. Kafka, to be fair, Kafka actually felt underwhelming until she came out and people actually tested her in-game. Huh. Maybe they stealth buffed her right before she came out or something. Or at the time she came out or something. Azure Lane has lollies too for weird people. Say what you will about, the game having lollies or people who like lollies. Technically speaking, considering I value equality as one of my top, values, I will say that I will say that I appreciate having Azure Lane, or I will appreciate Azure Lane for being a game that has something for everyone, even if you don't quite agree with its content. Like, no matter what, you will probably find someone, a character you like in that game. Probably. I mean, 700 characters. Good chance you'll find someone you like. Numbers don't mean much sometimes until you take it for a test run. I think I mentioned this before, Mr. Walks. But in Star Rail, numbers mean a lot. No, you can work a lot better with numbers, pure straight numbers here in Star Rail than you can with Genshin. Because there have been quite a few cases in Genshin where people like leakers and shit like that have like tried to dissect numbers, and like characters who theoretically don't have great numbers turn out to be really fucking good or something like that. Whereas because in Genshin's an open world 3D game where it's truly not all about their numbers. Because, like, you have to actually control them and, you know their rotations and shit like that. Like, you actually need to know their mechanics somewhat. But in Star Rail, I feel like Star Rail, at least from a, like a number crunching perspective, like a theory crafting / number crunching perspective, and just from an overall leaks perspective, characters are a lot easier to dissect and analyze. Because Star Rail is just a turn-based game. You don't need to worry about things like animations and like DPS in like the sense of like, oh, you're playing Genshin or some shit like that, where it's like real-time action combat stuff and stuff like that. Like, numbers are a lot more straightforward, or I should say, characters are a lot more straightforward in their performance in a game like Star Rail because it's turn-based. So therefore, numbers will tell you a lot bigger of a story than like characters in Genshin will, or numbers in Genshin will. Yeah, there are some nuances. Yeah, no, obviously. There's even in a game like Star Rail, there's always going to be some things that you can't you can't account for. But, you know, that being said, it should still count for most of it. It's not like you need to worry about animations or anything. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised we didn't know how good Kafka was gonna be before she came out. Unless, of course, again, MiHoYo like just jacked up her fucking numbers right before they put her out. But apparently, like, apparently Kafka's like been fucking nerfed a couple times leading up to her release already. So it's like, well, if she's already this good on release, then how good was she before? So how busted was she before this then? Remember when everyone was hyping DHL? Turns out hitting hard is fun until skill points are a nightmare. Oh, is the Star Rail community actually actually grew some fucking brain cells and realized that damage isn't everything with that bitch? Holy fuck. Are you, Mr. Walks, are you telling me that Star Rail players have finally gotten tired of Daniel Alter eating all their fucking skill points now? Because if that's the case, fucking finally. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but... Clueless, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is a MiHoYo community we're talking about, so they probably didn't. I'm sure everybody's still sucking Daniel Alter's dick even now. Skill points? What are those? Just got out of work, but who's which gacha game, in your opinion, has handled character deaths well for you? Handled a character death for you well in your opinion? Like, what hidden the feels and desire for revenge, which it makes you go, what? The most recent example I would say is FGO's is what is it? FGO's is Lost Belt 6. I would say the final scene at the end with Habitrot got me pretty good. Yeah, and then Hanya showing up should help him, yeah. Like, Hanya is obviously designed to support Daniel. What they smoke with the new Relic sets, I mean, they're pretty fucking good. Generally speaking, Dreadful, if you want to make a character death actually meaningful, you need to take the time to actually set up the character and make them have a prevalent, like have a solid presence in the story, right? Like, they need to be quite involved in the story, and be involved enough and like have enough of a presence throughout the entire story arc that they're involved in, to where like you can be considered either a major character or at least like a major background character. Like a character like maybe you don't think about them all the time, but when you hear their name mentioned, or when their name gets mentioned, you're like, oh yeah, I know that character. Yeah, like they do this, they did this, and that, and then they have a tangible, like, solid impact on the story, either like how the story develops or on the story's outcome. So in the case of Habitrot, this might be Lost Belt 6 spoilers for some people, but I'm going to assume that most of you have already finished Lost Belt 6. But in the case of Habitrot here, I don't think we met her in the beginning of the story. I think we met Habitrot first shows up, I believe, in like sort of the middle of the beginning of the story, right? Because Mash first meets Habitrot at when she gets taken to Bogart's castle, I think, right? Because Habitrot, they first find her hanging out there, right? And so when Bogart's castle gets, destroyed by Bargis's forces, I think, yeah, and they escape, and then after Bogart dies, yeah, Mash and Habitrot go off and try to do whatever, right? And so far and so forth. And then, Mash, eventually, you meet up with Mash, and then Habitrot comes along too, obviously. But then, like, Habitrot doesn't immediately have, like, outside of her interactions with Mash, like, Habitrot's interactions with Mash, right, are very important because, once Habitrot meets up with you, she cannot interact with you, like, very much at all, for basically the rest of the Lost Belt arc. And we find out why, like, because there's an actual reason for that. So all of her interactions with Mash, when Mash is amnesiac, is, lost all her memories and shit, like, those were really important because Habitrot wasn't going to have another chance to, you weren't going to get, as a reader, you weren't going to get much more chances to see her actually talk and interact. To make up for that, obviously we had those flashbacks when Mash got sent back in time thanks to Morgan. And then she hung out with, who is it, Ash and, Mash. She hung out with Ash and Habitrot from the past, right? And then, Ash encases Mash in the, seals her in ice or whatever. And then blah, 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 fast forward, and here we are. So... And yeah, I'm sure Himiko's death was given, some sort of similar treatment. Yeah, because I believe Himiko was like a major story character from like the very beginning of the game, right? I'm pretty sure Himiko was even predates Honkai Impact 3rd technically, because she was like one of the characters from like Honkai Gakuen or whatever, like one of Mihoyo's earlier games. So yeah, when you finally kill off a character, like that, as long as you do it well, then yeah, it'll obviously have a huge impact on the players. Yeah, like that's the key thing. In order to make a character's death meaningful in anything, really, not just gacha games, obviously, but especially in gacha games, to make people care about a character dying, like you need to have spent some time with them as a reader, like getting to know them as a character and understanding what they've done and seeing what they do in the story itself. Even for like in Lost Spell 6, right? Even for some of the minor characters like the orc triplets or the orc boys, right? The orcs who or were they orcs or were they goblins? I guess I'll just call them goblins. The goblin boys, the goblinos, who found Mash and initially wanted to sell her off as a slave, right? You know, at first as readers we're like, oh, these guys are just like, you know, shitty ass goblins who are slave traders and blah 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 blah. But then we stick with them and we see what happens to them, and then when they exit the story, by that point we don't think of them as just, you know, shitty ass slave traders anymore now, do we? Gnomes. Like if you have good enough story writing or solid enough story writing, you can even get people to feel bad for even minor characters like that. The problem that I had with the problem that I have, I think I talked about this last time I streamed too. The problem that I have with Genshin storytelling is that MiHoYo is too scared to kill off any major character. They can't, because that would piss off too much of their casuals, which is part of the reason why I think that having a predominantly casual player base is a kind of a double-edged sword, at least from a storytelling perspective. Because if you want to kill off a character for like like story reasons, right? For example, let's say hypothetically in like the near future or the far future, let's say like, oh, MiHoYo wants to write a story or wants to take the story, the Genshin's main story, in a direction where eventually an Archon needs to like sacrifice themselves to save their country or whatever, save their region, right? Let's say Zhongli or Venti or whoever, right? What if MiHoYo wants to write a character like that? Well, they can't, because if they do and they kill off either Zhongli, they're definitely not going to kill off Zhongli. That's going to piss off all the Chinese players. If they kill off Venti, oh my god, how many fucking Venti fanboys and fangirls are gonna get fucking pissed that their favorite character just got offed, right? Like these are casual players, right? I don't like, no offense if you're a casual playing Genshin, but like I don't really expect you guys, especially not people on the internet, to really be able to handle the death of their favorite character very well. Like, shit, bro. The Genshin community fucking torched the internet for like a couple weeks just because their first anniversary was crap. Like, they think sending death threats to voice actors that worked on their own fucking game is a good idea. So, how well do you think they're going to be able to handle a major character dying? Then Genshin got way too big for them to take any risks. More or less, unfortunately. So the most they can do is kill off side characters. That's pretty much it. Like that one Inazuma Shrine Maiden quest line, where at the end of it you get her mask and you can convert that into like a blueprint or whatever and make like a catalyst or whatever at the forge or something like that. CCP would love Venti to be killed. Yeah, I'm sure if they have to kill off any of the Archons, yeah, Venti's the first one to go. gotta cut him off, you know. They killed his counterpart in third, so who gives a fuck? Honkai Impact is not the same as Genshin. If you don't understand that, then I don't know what to say. Maybe go play Genshin to understand. But yeah, like, it's been 3 years now. They can't afford to kill off anybody. Because it's been too long. If they wanted to, like, set the stage, like have a serious story by killing off characters, then they should have done it in the very beginning so people know what to expect. But it's been too long now, so. It'll piss everyone off to everyone else off to high F. And yeah, and MiHoYo doesn't want to do that either. Because yeah, they value they probably value their home audience a lot more. Well, not probably, they do, obviously. But at the same time, MiHoYo certainly doesn't want to alienate their global audience. Certainly not. Like, I mean, why else do you think that they went through the trouble of making a subsidiary company outside of mainland China in the form of HoYoverse based out of Singapore? Like, they want to be able to keep their money they make outside of mainland China and keep their money outside there too. They can kill a side character, they try to kill it, and then they can try killing a main one. The only way I can see them getting away with killing off a main character is if they build up the story to lead to that conclusion, like, over a long period of time. So that way, you know, the player base isn't shocked into you know, having to they aren't shocked into seeing a character die. Like, for example, like Kole, right? When you first start the Sumeru Archon quest line, right? The main quest line for Sumeru. At the beginning, Kole, right? Kole is afflicted with Elizar, whatever that weird fucking disease is where it rots people from the inside. Basically, Arknight's Oropathy. But yeah, like something like that, where like a character has a disease that is potentially terminal, right? Well, actually, it's not just potentially; it is terminal, because it's Elizar, I think. Yeah. And then eventually MiHoYo could be like, well, you know, this character's condition is getting worse. Like, you try to save them, try to make the condition better, but nothing's working. So eventually, you know, despite all your best efforts, they unfortunately pass away. Something like that. Of course, that wouldn't explain how you're using Kole, you know, even though she's supposed to be dead. But, you know. Like, that's like the one thing that they could do. And even then, I don't think that would be very well received. But at the very least, it wouldn't trigger, like rabid, like, violent, like, reactions like, you know, First Anniversary having shitty rewards did, you know, 2 years ago. What's a main character that's likely to die without major outrage in Genshin? None. If you're talking about an actual major character, none. You kill off anybody, there's going to be a sizable chunk of the population that's going to be pissed. What did China do to trigger HoYoverse so much that they escaped? Well, if you want me to go into geopolitics a little bit, I can. I'm not sure if you're ready for that discussion, though. Hey, Slakia, welcome back. How's it going? You can still use Himeko and Honkai Impact? Yeah, I would hope so. Also, Leptune, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for the 23 months. And yeah, one month closer to your 2 year. Thanks so much for your continued support. Yeah, I would hope you can still use Himeko and Impact. It's like imagine wailing for a character in a gacha game, and then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, the devs come out and say, "Oh yeah, so because we kill off your favorite character that you wailed for in our game, you can't use them anymore. So go fuck yourself." Imagine that. For the true lore accurate experience. People still complain about Signora and she was never even playable. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, you know?
すべてわかりました。
Doesn't Kantai do that sometimes? Remove characters upon death? Oh yeah, Kantai does that. Where if they straight up sink in combat, you actually lose them, which I think is super dumb. First of all, let me just make that clear. I don't agree with permadeath mechanics like that. That being said, you theoretically can get them back. Good luck, like have fun trying to farm back like a limited character though, like a character you could only get by farming an event or something. But if you lose like a character who you can get from like regular construction gacha, then that's not too bad. You can just try to build them again and you can get them back. But yeah, in Kantai, yes, you can actually lose characters. It does. If you lose a character in Kantai, to be fair, I've heard that like a lot of shit needs to go wrong for that to happen. As long as you're paying attention, like for example, setting your favorite characters as like your flagship, because flagships in Kantai Collection cannot sync. They will never die, basically. So, but as long as you're paying attention and like doing proper risk management like stuff. And like not sending your units who are at like fucking 10% health into a new fucking node during the middle of an event or something like that, then you should be okay. Like you shouldn't have to go through that. But classic hardcore WoW players die all the fucking time, so. Imagine how many characters would be unplayable in FGO. Well, there's the thing. FGO's whole like story and gameplay segregation mechanic is actually genius. Because all of your characters are servants, right? And because this is the Fate verse we're talking about, and servants can have like multiple incarnations, and technically speaking, the servant you summon is different from the one you met in story. Like FGO has complete freedom to do whatever they want with the characters that show up in each arc, right? That's part of the reason why FGO storytelling has such potential to be good. And a lot of the time they are, as long as you don't read the first 5 singularities at least. But like yeah, like Nasu was able to set up like the perfect gacha storytelling mechanic for himself with like obviously with Fate. Because like, oh, servants can die, and that doesn't affect like your own account, because technically, according to the lore, actually, push-up glasses actually, they're different copies, right? Your servant, your Morgan that you summon from Gacha is technically not the same as the Morgan you saw from Lost Spell 6, but because they're still the same servant at the end of the day. You still want to roll for them anyway because we're all parasocial nut jobs. Yeah, your FGO waifu is canonically dead. Hold that shit. And yeah, that's the main reason why I will always consider FGO story to be like at the very least superior to Genshin's, because FGO has that literary freedom to do whatever it needs to in order to craft a good story. Whereas, like I honestly don't know what they could do for Genshin. Like, I know that the Farina Archon quest was actually like pretty good from what I hear. So I'm looking forward to how, when I eventually do get around to reading it at some point, I am actually looking forward to how they'll handle that. And I'll judge for myself whether it's actually pretty good or not. Because I've been waiting for a long time for a Sumeru story to become good. Or Sumeru, not Sumeru story. Sumeru story was decent. It was at least a step up from fucking Inazuma, at least. But yeah, it's about fucking time Genshin's story actually got pretty decent, at least. So we'll see. It's just that like, Genshin story writers need to work a lot harder and have to be a lot more creative with their storytelling to actually like be able to come up with like an interesting storyline for Genshin. Don't let the normies hear that. Well, I'm far from normie, so I don't give a fuck what they think. It is what it is. I haven't had time for FGO Lost Belts after doing the Aphrodite fight, but you can always count on the story being good. Yeah, Lost Belt 6 is definitely by far the crowning jewel of FGO's stories. It's by far Nasu's best work that I've seen from him personally. Obviously, you know, his visual novels I would expect his visual novels to be better, but you know, from what I know of Nasu's story writing, which is mainly, you know, from FGO, yeah, it's his best one so far. And even then, it's not perfect. I do have some problems with Lost Belt 6 story, but like overall, like, it's superb, and like no other gacha story even comes close. At least not the ones that I've read, which is not a lot, to be fair, but. The reason why it's #1 on surveys when they ask which Lost Belt needs to be an anime. Yeah, for good reason. I mean, personally, I would love for Aniplex to like make a Lost Belt 6 anime happen, just so that I can see all of the UK memes of people, of like normies and people who don't play FGO, seeing a Lost Belt 6 anime come out, and when they realize that we basically burn England to the ground, how many memes we're gonna get out of that. Still waiting for a Shinjuku movie. I guess they could do a movie out of Shinjuku. Yeah, maybe not a full anime, but I could see them doing a movie. Yeah, FGO suffers from having basically zero production value compared to Suki Remake and Mahoyo, which look really good. I mean, bro, you're comparing a fucking phone game to a full production visual novel. Like, what the fuck did you expect? Like, yes, the sky is blue. Like, anything else you want to tell us? Like, I don't know what kind of point you're trying to get across with that one, but sure, you're not wrong. And this is going to be kind of a hot take. Since most of you guys are also, you know, at least familiar with FGO, you guys will probably understand, or just play a lot of gachas in general, or are familiar with gachas in general. But bit of a hot take on my part. I actually prefer like the visual novel style setup as far as storytelling goes. Personally, I'm not like too impressed with like the 3D storytelling that like either Star Rail or Genshin has. Like to the casual view, to the casual observer, that's probably more attractive. But for me, I'm gonna have to admit to being a little hipster and say that Yeah, like I preferred like the standard, like the traditional like visual novel, like it's like you're reading a visual novel when you're reading gacha stories. Like I find that shit way more immersive than like whatever the fuck Genshin does. Like if Genshin and Star Rail had like hand animated all of their cutscenes, right? Imagine if they did that. How much more production cost that would be. But if they had actually been able to pull off something like that, then it would be a lot better. Because like custom made, hand animated scenes for everything, bro, that would be a lot more interesting. Because you can see exactly what characters do and how much detail would go into each scene. But obviously they don't do that because it would cost way too fucking much money. It would cost way too much money and time. So they have to make do with only a few animated cutscenes, where it's important, right? Where it makes sense, and then have everything else be portrayed through like fucking stock 3D animations and shit like that. Like when I first started playing Genshin, that was kind of cool, but like 3 years in, that's really fucking old. Right? You'll forgive me for being kind of tired with the whole like, you know, NPC walks in and with their stock walking animation. They walk towards a character, stop, awkwardly turn, do a stock animation pose number 13 or whatever. It's like after 3 years of watching that shit, I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. Like just give me the whole visual novel thing. I'll just imagine it in my head, you know. I prefer that over, you know, stock animation number 2, stock animation pose number 13. Imagine an FGO voice the story on top of that. Yeah, exactly. Which is actually pretty surprising because aren't all of Nasu's aren't all of Type Moon's visual novels like fully voiced and shit? And yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy does that shit, but not FGO. It's like, huh? The fuck? They are? Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of strange. Well, then again, FGO was originally meant to be like some low-budget fucking trash gacha games, so... Thanks, Delightworks. Also, don't forget them having full conversations without moving their mouths. That's more of a the animators from MiHoYo did only lip sync to the Chinese voice acting, I think, and they don't bother doing that with the other dubs, I don't think. But I guess that can also qualify. Sure, let's throw that in there too. Z3 gonna have VN type cutscenes? Hey, good to hear, I guess. At least for me. It's what I'm used to, so. Character expressions that FGO has is why you favor their stories as opposed to the blank faces that 3D models have. Yeah. Yeah. That I agree with, too. Alright, Kylon, yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. We'll see you next time. I'm going to end the stream myself here, too, pretty soon. Just wanted to take some time to chill with chat and just talk about random shit. But yeah, thanks for the gift sub earlier, and have a good night, man. Fireside gacha chats, yep. I mean, hey, I love talking about gacha, so. Where's our fire, Mr. 2? Maybe one day if I have the money, I can, like set up, like, an electric fire, because my place doesn't have a proper fireplace. So I think the best I can do is maybe an electric fireplace. I'm gonna have to see if, like, having an electric fireplace, like, violates HOA rules or whatever, so. But if they're okay with it, then. Also, Full Auto Alchemist, thanks for redeeming comfy vibes. Hopefully everybody's feeling comfy tonight. They're mostly just for show anyway. I see. Never had one, so I wouldn't know. I open a book next to a fireplace and my iPad is inside. Bro, I wouldn't even bring a book to the fireplace. Just bring my iPad. What season is it currently here? It's starting to become winter. Temperatures have been dropping, so. Thought about quitting FGO, but then you remembered you still need to play until Summer Ibuki shows up. Just play until Summer Ibuki shows up. As soon as you get her, just quit the game. Because outside of yeah, isn't Summer Ibuki our last Raita character, our last Raita servant in FGO? I don't know if Raita's put out any more. Or I don't know if I don't know if Los Angeles put in any more Raita servants into the game ever since Summer Ibuki, no? Why would you spend that much for something so useless? Omega, you do realize that you're watching a gacha streamer in a chat talking about gacha games. I don't know if we have any right to call. I don't know if we have any right to judge anybody for buying things that we think are useless. Like, huh? Let's be real here. Like, bro, people waste money on dumb shit all the time. Like, we are the reason why the current video game, the mainstream video game industry is all about microtransactions. We are the people who made it worse. Yeah, we're the definition of spending money on dumb shit. Are we the bad guys? Are we the baddies here? Yes, we are. The sooner you realize that, the better. Aware. No. No. We need that money. We need it. You don't understand. We need the money. cracked. At least you use it is the most copium shit you to say for spending money on something you could have gotten for much cheaper, but it did with something else, but it just didn't look as nice. Sounds like gacha games in a nutshell. You could not spend any money on gacha games, just clear everything as a free-to-play. But you know, Topaz's ass is pretty big. Or at least it used to be before MiHoYo nerfed her playable version. Can we sue MiHoYo for false advertising, actually? For giving NPC Topaz like a fat ass, but then when her banner came out and people started rolling for her, her ass was like fucking flat as fuck. They did that. Oh yeah, they did that. Don't talk about her ass. You don't want to play Star Rail? Oh, just go look up all of the Topaz fan art on like Twitter or something. Because to be fair, you can't really see the glory that is Topaz's fat ass in game anymore. Well, unless you play the Ethereum Wars story, I guess. But in your her ass is still fat as fuck in your Topaz folder. I see. Can we do it for Rosaria's tits too? Yeah, sure. Yeah, honestly, might as well. While we're on the topic. Dojin artists, you're our last hope. Yeah, fan artists, and whatever. The animators. I mean, fuck, bro. If you want to risk it, you can always mod certain characters' original proportions back in. I know that Rosaria's proper original proportions mod has been a thing forever, and I'm sure somebody's working on a mod to. I'm pretty sure there's already a mod for Star Rail where you can have your playable Topaz have the same size ass as she does in stories. So. Never forget. Originally, in the beta, Rosaria had no fishnets, and she had like double D cups. I mean, hey, some people are actually really into fishnets, so I wouldn't call that a downgrade. Also, Nightmare, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for the 41 months. Really appreciate it. And yeah, didn't they also censored Shenhe by covering her the navel opening in her bodysuit, I think. How dare they? Yeah, exactly. No, you have to understand, Shenhe is a cryo user, so she sometimes gets kind of cold, so we had to cover her up, you know? She didn't have an opening. Oh, it did show her belly button. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's such cope. I was just bullshitting. I was just memeing about it. We need to go an alternate world where, alternate timeline where the CCP doesn't exist to cause all these nerfs. To be fair, I think MiHoYo, even if the CCP didn't exist, I think MiHoYo would have been a little bit more conservative with their character designs. Yeah. Because like they want to be able to promote their game to as many people as possible, so they can't get too wild with their character designs. Like you can't. They probably wouldn't have a character who has like half their cleavage exposed and they're running around in full fucking daylight, you know? Titties fucking flopping in the air, and not anything like that. And some games legit do that, but then they do it to Nikke too. What, censorship? Yeah. It was with the Nikke's first limited character. Technically not even that. They did it earlier, Omega. Yeah. They did it earlier. Originally there's a character named Rupee in Nikke. Funnily enough, the first limited character was also what, Christmas Rupee, I think. It's her original version. Originally Rupee, like her default standing, her default art, like you could literally see upper skirt. Actually, even in her standing, in her default art, like live 2D art, like she's not even, like, you're not even trying to look that up her skirt, but her skirt deliberately flaps up high enough where you see her underwear anyway, and then they censored that. So now it's like, and now it's just like a tease where you can't really see your underwear, but it's kind of implied that you don't need to try that hard to. There was no skirt. No, you're talking about Winter Rupee. Yeah, on the winter version. Yeah, there was no like cloth, kind of blocking that. Though to be fair, if that's what they call censorship, then I say bring it on, because it could have been a lot worse than that. Like, what exactly is that hiding? Nikke publishers are Chinese, yeah. The publisher is Level Infinite, the international branch of Tencent Games. So yeah. His leotard was way shorter. For some reason, they censored Parvati's burst animation. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. Like, what exactly was that showing? But yeah, it's weird. Thought the devs were Japanese? No, Defrost. For Nikke, Goddess of Victory? No, the developers are Korean. South Korean. Well, obviously. Or are they North Korean? But no, the developers for Nikke are Korean, but the publishers are Chinese. Imagine a North Korean gacha. Unironically, people would play it just because it's funny. I mean, hey, if that makes it so that they stop sending out hackers to routinely steal money from banks around the world or whatever the fuck, then sure, I say go for it, because at least that way it's legal. Actually, isn't a gacha game like basically against everything? Isn't it basically against all of North Korea's ideology? Because it's supposed to be communist, right? Or at least they say they are. A dictator pretending to be communist. Yeah, more or less. No, technically, from what I understand from listening to like North Korean politics and shit, or people talk about North Korean politics, my understanding is that it's actually more of an oligarchy, but technically a dictatorship. Remember when somebody first called Cherino mini Stalin? I mean, yeah, because it's true. Like, what else is she supposed to be? You have you run around with a fake mustache. You consider yourself the leader of a school called Red Winter. Your minions all use Soviet era firearms like AK derivatives and shit like that. Like literally everyone. Like Chedino uses like a Nagant, like one of those old school Nagant 1895 revolvers. I'm pretty sure, some Russian revolver. Marina uses a fucking PPSH or whatever, one of their sub guns. Who is it? I forget who I forget the name of the spokeswoman is. The girl, the tall girl wearing the fur hat, who acts as Cherino's like spokeswoman or whatever. I forget what gun exactly she uses, but I'm pretty sure she uses a rifle bolt action or whatever. Not a bolt action, it might be a semi. But she uses a Russian rifle of some kind. Yeah, it's like, I wonder. And then all of the Red Winter mobs, like the NPC characters, they all run around going "Oorah!" and then fucking, hip firing AK-47s. So, gee, I wonder what they could be referencing with this one. Yeah, Tomoe, yeah. What game? Oh, we're talking about Blue Archive. I wonder, what could they possibly be talking about with this one? I sure hope Chedino doesn't purge over 50 million of her own countrymen or countrywomen. That would suck. Are getting overthrown every other week as the cherry on the cake. Oh, and by the way, just for good measure, we're gonna give you a summer version, a hot springs version of her, where her EX skill is literally her dropping onto the field in a fucking tank. Time to suppress the rebellions, comrade. The peasants are rebelling. Quickly, comrade. So, they're not really being very subtle with this one now, are they? Oh yeah, that we have that email. Yeah, into the IA land. Into the IA land we march. But yeah. Alright, chat. I think I'll call it a stream there. I got some other stuff to work on, gotchas to take care of, and I gotta go do some paperwork to set up for my temp job that I'll start later this week, so. Thanks for hanging out, boys. I'll send you guys over to Sweet Elise stream. I'm gonna be lurking in her chat anyway, so. I think she's doing viewer polls for Huohuo's banner, so. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. But yeah, I will catch you guys sometime later this week, hopefully. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. Peace.